Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining me from. It's so nice to have you here again. My name is Moturayo. I am Moturayo the dressmaker. It's so nice to have you here. In case you're just seeing me for the first time, where have you been? Okay, so let me introduce myself. If you're just seeing me for the first time, my name is Moturayo. I am a fashion designer based in Lagos. I'm a fashion tutor. I'm also a YouTuber. I help rising fashion designers to get understanding, to get knowledge of those little things that seems like really complicated. So I am just here to give you any kind of help that you may need concerning your fashion business. Okay? So today I am here live, and today we are going to be treating how to take proper body measurements without having that bulge. We all know that bulge is usually like at the back of our dress. Those bulge do not really look good, and I've been seeing them everywhere. So if you are one of those fashion designers that sew and you've been seeing that bulge at the back of your dress, or when your clients wears the dress, you see the bulge and you can't seem to figure it out. So most of the time you can always take care of it while you are taking your measurements. And I want to stay to the end of this video, because at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how it affects your dress practically, how taking a measurement, how it can either make the dress have a bulge or not. So if you want to see what you're doing wrong, then stick around to the end, okay? So you can see that. Okay, so let's get to the video, okay? All right, so I hope we are having a great time at our workplace. Quickly this morning, this live stream is not going to take too long. We are going to go straight to the point, measuring how to take proper body measurement. So I'm going to be using this mannequin so that we can get understanding. If you were part of the live stream yesterday and you did not understand some of the things, this mannequin will also give a better understanding. All right, so I want us to stick around so that we can see everything that we need to know how to get our hands on. Okay, so let's get right into it. Taking body measurements is when you want to make a dress, there's a need for you to take a measurement. When you're making the dress for yourself, when you're sending um, your designer your measurements, when somebody else is making the dress for you, there's need for the body measurements to be taken. And maybe you just want to buy a dress and you're not sure of whether this dress is going to fit or not. So these are part of the reasons why we take body measurements. Okay, so now I'm going to start with the basic body measurements, which is the shoulder to waist. Don't forget, yesterday we discussed about our natural waistline. Okay, we are going to be taking our bust measurements, the front width, our back width. Yesterday we couldn't really show it because you are taking the measurement yourself, but today you're going to see how it is done if you want to take the measurements on somebody else. So it's pretty easy, and if you are making the dress yourself, you can actually instruct the person on how to do it for you. Okay, without let's get into the video. All right, so um let's start with taking the measurement for the shoulder. Okay, usually I like to take my shoulder measurement from the back, which I think most people do. All right, so because that seems to be the safest place where you can take the body measurement and get it accurately. All right, so if you're joining me this morning, let me know where you're joining me from. I am here in the city of Lagos, Nigeria. It's been raining since morning. I hope you can still hear me. So let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me, please. Let me know if you can hear me already. Okay, so let's begin by taking this body measurements. Okay, I'm going to turn this mannequin to the back right now so that we can all see. Okay, so I think it's clear enough this way. All right, so taking the body measurement for this now, from one shoulder tip, just like we did yesterday, to the other. Okay, that's how you take your shoulder measurement. All right, from that bone, I told you yesterday we have a bone here. That's what separates the arm. What joins the arm. All right, not separate. What joins the arm to the shoulder itself. Okay, from that point to the next one right here. So that's how you take proper body measurements on somebody else. Okay, and while you want to take your back width now, I want you to listen so that you can get this appropriately. The back width measurement is taken from here, from one underarm. All right, I hope you can see this, from one underarm to the other. That's how you take your back width measurement. Okay, and sometimes the back width measurements could be the same as the shoulder. In most people, sometimes it's lesser, maybe by half inch, by 1 inch, depending. You know that body structure differs from one person to another in all women. Okay, so this is how you take it, from one underarm at the back to the other, from one underarm to the other. At this point on your body, that's where you take your back measurement. Okay, and the other measurement you will take before you move the client to the front, you have to take now from the back. Take a look at this point. That's the base of the neck. All right, then towards the natural waistline. That's how you take the back length. That is the shoulder to waist. Shoulder to waist. Your shoulder to waist should always be taken on your natural waistline. On your natural waistline. This is the reason why you always have that bulge. If you do not take the measurement at the right point, your natural waistline, in case you were not with us yesterday, your natural waistline is that point on your body where your body sort of bend over. All right, so what you want to do is you could tell your client, ma, can you bend over? All right, or you could have a strap or a twine, then you tie it around that point so that you are able to easily get the accurate measurement for the front shoulder to waist and the back shoulder to waist. Okay, I hope you understand me. That natural waistline is really important. Before the end of this video, I'm going to be showing you how it affects your dress, how that bulge comes up if it's not taken correctly. Okay, just stay with me. Okay, so these are the three measurements you need to take from behind. Then afterward, you can tell your client to turn. All right, just tell your client to turn to face you. Okay, and now we are going to take all other measurements from the front. Now you can go ahead to take from the base of your neck on the shoulder right here over your bust. Go ahead to take your natural waistline. That's from your shoulder to your waist. Then take that measurement, note it down and write it down. Okay, you're also going to need your under bust. Most of dresses like ashwebi, where you need contouring and all of that, you actually need to take note of where the under bust point is. It is not in every client, in every body structure, that you have the under bust to be 3 inches from the bust point. All right, and if you are taking the bust point, this is from the shoulder to the nipple. That's the bust point. Shoulder to the nipple is usually the highest point of your bust. When you look at it from the side, this is usually the highest point. So, and that's your shoulder to nipple, which is the bust point length. Don't forget to always take the under bust. All right, then the next thing you will take is your front length, shoulder to waist. After that, you take your hip point, shoulder to the hip line, the highest point of your hip. All right, let me do it on this side so that you all can see it properly. Okay, this seems to be the highest point of this Okay, don't forget this is a mannequin. Just look at your client's body or look at your body, wherever is the highest point of your hip. Take the measurements right there. Okay, then after this you can go ahead to take the dress length of the measurement of the person. Okay, if the person wants it to be a short dress, take note. If the person wants it to be floor length, take note. If the person wants it to be ankle length, just take note, just like that. All right, guys, if you have any question, put it in the comments. I'm going to respond to all of them. If you have any question, put it in the comments, and let me also know where you are joining me from. Let me know where you're chatting with me from this afternoon. Okay, so but if you have any question on how to go about this, put it in the comments. But don't forget, regarding the back bulge, I'm going to be showing you how this measurement practically affects and how the back bulge usually come about, so that you know how to eradicate it. All right, so after this vertical measurement, you go ahead to now take your horizontal measurement, which is the circumference of your body, the circumference of your bust, the circumference of your waist, circumference of your hip. So this is how you take for the bust measurement. Start with where the measuring tape has 1, 0, 1. You start from there, then you move it up, you move it down with only your index finger. Only this index finger, the one that you use to hold the tape together, is needed. Ensure that the measurement is not too tight, but it has to be snug. Okay, and it should not be too loose, so that your garments or your dresses will not be too loose when you are done sewing them. Then the next horizontal measurement you are going to be taking is that under bust. The under bust point is usually that point where the bralette kind of sits right underneath your bust right there. You take that horizontal measurement as well, because when you are sewing dresses like bustier and you need to contour and all of that, corseting, it is really needed, is needed. Ensure that this part you measure it snug. It has to be really, really snug. All right, so the next measurement you will take is your waistline. Your waist measurement has to be right here. Sometimes you need to take two measurements. Sometimes you take from here and then you still take from here where the skirt sort of sits. But this right here is very important. It's important that you take it from this very point where you have your natural waistline, and that is the point where your body sort of bend over. I hope you understand what I'm trying to let you know. So it is very important that you take your measurement from that tiniest part of your body. Okay, even if you take a look at this mannequin, you see that this is the tiniest part of this body form. Okay, so the next horizontal measurement you are taking is your hip. All right, so take the measurement of your hip this way, just with your index finger on it. Ensure that the tape could move up and could come down. All right, but it should not be too loose or too tight. Yes, you guys, you get it. You get it. So it just has to be really snug. Okay, it is back in the days that people tend to wear loose garments, but it's trendy these days that everything is fitted and in the right places. So you don't want to take your measurement too loose. Whether you are measuring yourself, whether you are sewing for yourself, whether you are measuring for your clients, whether you are sending the measurement to your designer to make a dress for you, ensure that all measurements are done snug. It should not be too tight and it should not be loose. Okay, just with your index finger in that point where you are measuring, ensure that the tape is able to go up and it's able to come down on its own at that point. Just ensure that the tape is not loose. It should not be loose, but it should be able to move around just like this. Okay, so if this is a dress, this might just be it. From this point you can go ahead to take measurement for your sleeve. But if you're measuring for a trouser, you know I told you yesterday, this is how you measure for a crotch. When you are getting a client, this is how you measure for your crotch. All right, ensure that the tape touches the natural waistline at the back. You can see where my hand is at the back and bring it forward. Right here in the front. Divide what you have by 2 and that is your crotch length. Somebody might say, how do I get to measure the client if she's wearing a dress? She wore a dress to come for the consultation, or she wore a dress while I'm taking the measurements, or there are other ways by which you can do it, but this seems to be the most accurate way to measure for your crotch. You can ask the client to sit on a very, maybe a chair with a hard surface, not those ones with a cushion. The client sits there, you take the measurement that way, and it can actually also be calculated. All right, but if you can have your way, you can tell the client, madam, when you're coming, ensure that you're wearing a trousers so that you are able to take the crotch measurement. Just tell the person what style would you like to make. After you guys have finalized on the style the person is coming for measurement, then you just tell the person, when you're coming, please wear a trouser when you're coming, something like that. Okay, so that is able. But in a situation where you can't get the person to wear something that you can take the crotch from that point, just use the other means, other method, your trouser will still come out right. All right, so going up next to the sleeve measurement, the same way we took the sleeve measurement is still the same way it is done. All right, on the sleeve measurement, there are horizontal measurements, which means you take round, the circumference of round sleeve, round elbow, round wrist. All right. Then there are also vertical measurements, which is the elbow points, elbow length, the entire sleeve length, okay, and all of those. And how do you measure for round sleeve? Ensure that you put the measuring tape under the arm of the client this way, and ensure that the tape sort of go over and come down. Right, it has to be loose, it has to be able to pass through this point, not this point. Guys, take a look, please pay attention. This point, okay, so ensure that it's able to go through that way. All right guys, so the next thing, the same way you measure your round elbow, okay, take the measurements this way and you measure, okay. And for the wrist also, I told us yesterday we need 2 measurements for the wrist. We need this point, okay, where our wrist is. Then we also need this point so that the sleeve of the dress is able to pass through when whoever is wearing the dress wears it, okay. So these are the main measurements that we need in making a dress, okay. If you are actually making any other thing, you can always factor in what other measurements that you need, but these are actually the basics. Guys, do not forget that in this measurement, our natural waistline is really important. When you're taking measurement for yourself, when you're taking measurement for somebody else, your natural waistline is that point where your body sort of bend over. You don't want to miss that point. When you miss that point, you're going to have that bulge that you see at the back of your dress. You usually come up something like this somewhere on your dress, and you don't want that bulge to keep being there. Okay, so I'm going to show us right now how we are going to go about that. Okay, so I hope we can all see me. I hope we can all hear me. So right now I'll go into that right now. Let me move this mannequin and bring the dress home so that we can all understand what I'm saying perfectly. Okay, let's take this away for a moment, then let's bring this right in. Can we all see this? Okay, this is clear. We can all see this. Okay, now when the measurement of a body is being taken from behind, this is the back of this dress form. When the measurement of a body is being taken and that point where our natural waistline is missed, if we miss that point, what's going to happen is that there's going to be a bulge. Can you see this bulge? Okay, so there's going to be this bulge on our dress. Don't worry, I'm going to show us with fabric right now. Now, this is the natural waistline of this body form. Okay, this is a size 10 body form. This is a natural waistline. Now, when we want to take a measurement and we measure it on, let's say, this point, for example, I'm going to put this fabric right here so that we can really see. Guys, I really like to show us the way it is so that we can get a good understanding. I like to show everything to us the way it is so that we can get a good understanding of what exactly is going on with our garments. In case you have been wondering, what exactly am I not doing right? Okay, so this is it. This is what you are not doing properly. And I'm sure that by the time you get the understanding today, it will no longer be an issue for you. Okay, now this back measurement is longer. Can we all see that point? Is longer. This is the natural waistline of this body size. But this is what we have measured. All right? Which means this measurement is 1.5 inches longer than where it should be. It should be right here. Okay, hope we can see this. All right. Okay, it's better now. This should be right here. Okay, I'm going to pin it in place now. Going to pin it in place. I'll pin it in place now. Okay. All right, so this is where this measurement should be. But while we are taking the measurements, instead of, let's say, this should be 14 inches, we measured the person to be 15 inches. All right? And the thing about the body is that by the time you put the dress on, whether you cut it correctly or not, the dress is going to sit on that natural waistline. The dress is going to sit on that point. So in a situation where we took the measurements wrong, that is when we see this bulge. You will notice that at this point, you will always see this bulge. I'm going to take out all of that thing so that we can really get a good understanding. I really want us to take care of this thing so that from now on we are able to know what the issue is, and we are able to deal with it. Okay, this bulge, you will always see it when you have the zipper right here. You will see it on the zipper. It's everywhere. When the next time you see somebody wearing a dress, just take a look at it. It has to sit flat. Everything has to sit flat. If you are making the dress and the back is not sitting flat, it means you took the measurements wrongly. Even while you are doing pattern drafting and you still do the back contouring, it will still be there. It may not be as prominent as it would have been. That is one of the advantages of pattern drafting when it comes to garment making. Okay, but if you cut it by freehand, you did not do the back contouring, you did not take the measurement properly, you are going to always see that bulge. So how do we get to eradicate this bulge? What we can do is this: ensure that the measurements are accurately taken. Ensure that the measurements are taken on the right point. It has to be taken on the right point. That is the only way. Because the only problem with the dress, it's not as if the garment is not beautiful, it's not as if it's not well tailored, but because the measurement is not accurate. And you can see that now that we have taken away the excess, the dress will sit properly. So I hope that you now understand what is the cause of this issue, and I hope that you can from now henceforth fix this issue. I hope that from now henceforth your garment will no longer have that bulge. I if you have any question, let me see your questions. I have not been getting any questions, so I'm still gonna wait a little while for your questions. If you have any questions, let me know. Let me know so that we can deal with it. Okay. We are in this together. Don't forget, that's why I'm here. I'm here to offer you all the help that you can get, all the help that you might need with your dressmaking journey, with your fashion designing and tailoring journey. Okay. So today we have been able to take care of the back bulge, and we have been able to also take proper body measurements. Ensure that measurements are taken snug. Make sure that it's not too loose. Make sure that it's not too tight, so that while the person wearing is wearing the garment, they can be comfortable. Okay, it's important that the garment is comfortable while you're wearing it. It should not be too tight, and it's also important that it's not too loose, so that we can the beauty and all of those contour can really be seen. All right. So uh, okay, guys. So I'm glad you were part of today's tutorial again. I hope to have you here again tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to be learning how to thread the overlocking machine. You all know that weaving machine that you have only one thread on it, simply because you dread that, how do I thread this machine? Okay, so we are going to be looking at how to thread that three thread. It's a three thread machine. Okay, we're going to be learning how to do the three threading. So if that sounds like what you're interested in, you don't want to miss tomorrow. And we're also going to be sharing a few tips on cleaning and all of that, so that our machine can be maintained and we can actually increase their lifespan. Okay, thank you everyone for joining me again today. My name is Mutsunrayo. I am the dressmaker. I hope to see you all. I hope to see you all at the top doing great things, creating beautiful garments, because you guys know I love you guys as dressmakers. I love dressmakers, and that's why I'm here. If you're a new dressmaker, if you're just seeing me for the first time, okay, I'm a YouTuber, I'm a fashion designer based in Lagos. I am a fashion tutor. Okay, so stick with me. More to come on this channel, more to come, more to come. I'll see you again tomorrow in the tutorial how to thread your overlocker. Bye.